Hello everyone, Fanta here, and you're watching Fantavision. Today I'm discussing GameStop once again, and today I'm talking about a topic that I have covered a little bit in the past, and it was more of the customer perspective, and that is new games being opened and being still sold as new. And I kind of want to break down what exactly is the reason that those are actually opened and what sometimes even happens to those games before they're sold. And before we dive into that, I don't have a bottle to show because I have a growler of this, but today I'm drinking Sonoran White Chocolate Ale. It's actually brewed in Phoenix, so it's a local beer. It's pretty delicious. It's like a smooth ale. Very, very slight white chocolate taste. It's more of just a smooth ale. Really good. So, why are new games being sold opened? And I know most people know, but GameStop has to have a new quote-unquote gutted copy out on the floor. And what gutted means is the game's been opened and the disc is put in a sleeve and then put in the counter and the empty case is put out on the shelf. Now, why does GameStop have to do this? It's because just like how Walmart, Target, and every other store have that kind of locked up glass thing, so you can't steal the games, basically. So you can't steal the games, and I mean, that part makes sense, but what doesn't make sense is why GameStop can't just use a fake case with a fake slip of cover art and put that out there instead of opening a brand new game and not discounting it for the customer. And a lot of people told me in the video that I made about open new games, and they're like, oh, well, GameStop can't do that for this stupid reason and this stupid reason. And I'm like, okay, well, did you work at GameStop? Because I feel like you didn't. Because if you did work at GameStop, you would know that they are constantly making fake cases that have real cover art. And that's in the marketing. The marketing has so many different fake cover arts. So if GameStop really wanted to do this, they could easily just get shipped one extra cover art for every game launch. And I mean, they're blowing through so much paper, so much ink, and so many different fake cover arts for games that aren't even out yet. I think they can send a couple with the shipments of all these new games so they can have a fake case out on the floor. Now, this would prevent the need for opening a brand new game and having people like me rant about it online about how stupid it is. Because I don't like buying opened new games. It doesn't make sense to me. If I'm buying a new game, I want it to be factory sealed. And I know most people feel the same way. So if you really want to take care of the customer and you want people to have the best customer experience possible, you don't open it. You especially don't let your employees take home those games and play them. Now, you may be thinking, well, I mean, that's fine with used games, right? Like, it's fine with used games. And I'm not talking about used games. I'm talking about I, as a GameStop employee, all of my coworkers, everybody I knew that worked at every other GameStop was allowed to take home a brand new game, open it, and play it. You weren't allowed to use the codes inside, but from what I've heard from quite a few people is that the codes have been missing or used. And that you definitely run that risk when you're letting your employees take home the game and play it, and then you sell it as new. And now, I don't know about you guys, but I don't think you can return a new game that's been opened to GameStop. So why in the fuck should they be allowed to sell a brand new game that they have opened and played and not take a refund of the same thing? That doesn't make any sense to me. Does it to you? Because I feel like that's kind of unfair to the customer if I'm allowed to take it, open it, play it, still sell it as new, no discount. And sometimes, you know what, people would ask for a discount and we would give them that discount. We give them like 10% off. And I feel like that should be kind of a blanket thing for every GameStop. Every GameStop should give a 10% off discount to an opened new game. Because if they're too stupid to figure out this simple solution of shipping one extra little fake cover art thing to every store when a game launches, they can pay for it in another way by bringing a discount for that customer. Sorry, we're stupid tax is what you could call it. I don't understand why this is so difficult to grasp for them and the audience that decides to frickin' defend GameStop for no reason. But that's a simple solution. It's such an easy thing to do. So this has kind of become a rant, again, from the customer's perspective, but I feel the frustration from people. I mean, I've been there. I have had both experiences now from the employee side and the customer side. And whenever I sold an open new game, it was either to a customer that was being a dickhead, or I'd apologize. I'd be like, I'm sorry this has been opened. I mean, this was used to put out a brand new case, and most of the time it hadn't been played. It's not like we're playing every single game that came out, but I don't know, you just kind of feel bad. And most of the time when I was checking out games, I wasn't trying to check out the new games. I was trying to wait for a used copy to come in. But often, they would actually want you to check out a new game instead of the used copy. Because if you've only got like 2 or so used copies of that brand new game, those are going to fly off the shelves, and those are the ones that make profit. Those are the ones that GameStop wants to sell. So if you're opening a brand new game and they're just going to sell it as brand new anyway and they're not going to lose any money, why the hell not? Why not encourage the employees to take home the new game instead of the used? Because the customers usually didn't complain about it. Nobody cared that they were getting a opened new game. Now, but if you were to buy an open new game anywhere else, people would flip their shit. If you went to Best Buy and you bought a game and realized, wait a minute, this has been opened and there's fingerprints on the disc, you'd flip your shit. You'd go crazy. And I know people at Walmart did. People said, well, wait a minute, this game looks like it's been opened. Because I guess people at the distribution place or somebody had actually been resealing games at Walmart. And I'm like, why weren't more people freaking out about that at GameStop? So it's crazy to me, like how many people that shop at GameStop kind of just accept the bullshit that goes on. Like I said, though, there were definitely the customers that demanded a discount, and you know what? I didn't blame them. I didn't blame them at all, because it's supposed to be a new game, especially around Christmas time. A lot of people we would lose a lot of customers around Christmas time or for somebody's birthday, but namely the holidays, because people wanted a brand new game to give as a gift. So if our last copy was opened, they're not going to buy that copy because they want a factory sealed game to give to their kid or friend or brother or whatever. Because I don't know about you guys, and I know some people have disagreed with me in the comments, and that's fine. I mean, if you're fine with getting an opened game or a used game for the holidays, that's fine, you know? But I don't see the point, especially when it's cheaper to buy a new game instead of a used game. But that's not even the topic I'm trying to hit on, is when you get a gift, though, you usually don't want it to be used. It's usually a new item that you yourself can unwrap and use for the first time yourself. And I don't get the logic behind being okay with an open new game. And I like I said, I definitely understand the customers that don't want it, or at least want a discount. And like, so many lost sales because of those stupid opened games, and a surprising amount of people complacent with it. Now, another thing about the open new games is we didn't always know the history behind it, because it's something we'd also get from other stores. I talked about this in another episode, that whenever we got shipped something, it was always the worst of whatever they could ship us. And that also went with new games. We got a lot of opened new games from other stores, and you just kind of have to deal with it. You're like, okay, well, great. This is more potential missed sales and angry customers, and you couldn't do anything about it. And honestly, we did the same thing to other stores, because we didn't want it in our inventory. For the same reasons I just said, we didn't want it. And it's just this circulation of crap that nobody wants. What's even more interesting, now this has nothing to do with new games, but actually no, it does. They were opened new games that were turned into used. That's like the opposite problem. That's That's weird. It almost makes me feel like, I don't know, what is GameStop trying to do with opening new games and making them used? Now, with Xenoblade Chronicles, I remember we would get copies. I think GameStop owned the printing for these copies, and we would get them in, and they were opened already. So we sold them as used Xenoblade Chronicles games. Even though you could tell that it was a new case, it was a new disc, the manual was new, everything about it was new. And I don't know the logic behind that. And a lot of like games that didn't sell well, we would turn into used even if they were new. And we'd even leave them factory sealed and just slap a pre-owned sticker on them. And whenever I had a good customer and they wanted to buy a game that happened to have a sealed copy of it new, I'd definitely get it for them. And I don't get the logic. I'm trying to see some sort of like fraud or something in that. I don't know what it could be. Let me know in the comments. But I'm trying to figure out why GameStop would want to turn a new product into used. I don't know. It doesn't make sense to me. Even to this day, I don't get it. I mean, we would receive so many copies even in shipment. We'd get like brand new copies of like Skate 3 and stuff, but they were marked as used. And you could tell that nobody had ever played them. Somebody just opened them because they still had like the pieces of plastic stuck to the spine. I don't know. I can't put my finger on that. That didn't make sense to me. But there's a solution to that opened new problem, and I don't get why they're not doing it. I really don't. I mean, GameStop, figure your shit out. This was a slightly shorter episode of Tales from Retail today. I just wanted to dive back into the subject of opened new games because, I mean, it was a popular subject quite a few months ago when I was just complaining about it when I got one. But I wanted to talk about from not just a customer perspective, but from an employee perspective, and how I didn't like it. I didn't like selling open games as new. I didn't like opening new games, but sometimes I didn't have a choice. And the reason I would even do it was because I wanted to be able to tell the customer what kind of game they were buying. And with a GameStop paycheck, you can't buy every game. I mean, with a GameStop paycheck, you can barely afford rent and food and gas. So there was no way in hell I'd be able to buy every game that came out to inform the customer. And like I've said in other episodes, I wanted customers to know what they were buying. I wanted to because everybody would always ask me, is this game good? And I don't want to be like, I wanted to have some basis for it and not just based on reviews or what other people have said. I wanted to give my opinion on it, which is why I'm going to be doing a lot more opinionated pieces on this channel about video games and stuff like that. So, yeah. So that was that. That was that reason for that subject. And I hope you guys enjoyed it today. I just wanted to let you guys know about all of that. And of course, like the video if you guys liked it. Comment down below what you feel, or how you feel rather, about opened new games and whether you're okay with it. I mean, if you're okay with it, that's fine. That's not a big deal. I mean, that's just, that's how you feel about it. That's fine. But if you hate it, or if you've kind of gotten some like sketchy vibes from GameStop, let me know in the comments and subscribe for more content. And as always, everyone, have a Fanta-tastic day. See ya. I probably should announce this earlier on in the video. I know this is like the after fade sequence. It's not really an after credit sequence. I'm not a Marvel movie. But we are going to be live streaming tonight. We're having that voting open again. I think we're just going to... I guess we're not doing the voting. We'll do voting for Thursday. So today's voting will count for Thursday. Tonight, I think we're going to play some Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze because that did come out recently on the Switch. I have it for the Wii U, and we're just going to play it on the Wii U. I mean, it's the same game, basically. It just doesn't have the funky mode. And maybe the Switch game looks a little bit better, but I doubt they really increased the graphics that much. The game already looked really good. And also, if you wanted to know more about the beer, it's delicious. Highly recommend it. I do have a growler. I actually picked up a growler of it. Not this growler, but the last time I had a growler of it was in Phoenix. And my buddy actually drank a whole growler in one night. That was insane. I tried. I failed miserably. I think I drank like 3/4 of it, maybe half. And then this one, I got like a local, like restaurant slash micro brew pub type thing. And it wasn't too expensive, but I definitely won't be doing it very often because it is a lot more expensive than a 6-pack or anything like that. Really good beer, though. Highly recommended.